General mocked her aim, but her record-breaking shot left everyone in tears. Private Eliza Monroe stood alone on the shooting range, the sun beating down on her helmet as dust swirled beneath her boots. She adjusted the scope of her rifle, every movement calm and calculated. Across the field, commanders and soldiers whispered, doubting she could do what no one else had done before. At 22 years old, Eliza was one of the youngest recruits to enter the elite marksmanship program of the U.S. Army. But her journey hadn't been easy. Born in a rough neighborhood in Baltimore, she grew up with very little. Her mother worked 2 jobs. Her father had disappeared when she was 6. Her escape? Books about physics, ballistics, aerodynamics, and long-range sniping. The spark that started it all. When Eliza was 14, she watched a documentary about a Canadian sniper who made the longest confirmed kill shot in military history, over 3,500 meters. While other kids dreamed of fame or money, Eliza made a different promise. I'll break that record. One day, no matter what it takes. Everyone laughed at her. In high school, boys told her snipers were men's work. Teachers told her to be more realistic. But her mother? She just smiled and said, "Baby girl, if they doubt you, you're probably on the right path." That one sentence became Eliza's fuel. Training ground, Fort Barrett. When she finally made it to Fort Barrett, the military's top sniper training facility, Eliza was surrounded by men twice her size, many with combat experience. They mocked her at first, her size, her soft voice, her dreams. But she didn't come to impress them. She came to focus. Her aim? Precise. Her discipline? Flawless. Her endurance? Quietly terrifying. Still, there was one man who never took her seriously, General Raymond Clay. A veteran with 30 years in the field, he believed in numbers, power, and tradition, not dreams. Especially not ones from a rookie girl with a fantasy. The $500 bet. During a tactical briefing, Eliza casually mentioned her dream of beating the 3,500-meter record. The room erupted in laughter. Then General Clay stood and said, "Tell you what, Private Monroe, you hit 3,532 meters. That's 2 meters over the current world record, and I'll hand you $500 in front of the entire division. But when you fail, you'll drop out of this program." Eliza didn't blink. "Deal," she said, "but I want one more thing. If I succeed, I want you to address every new recruit from now on and tell them, never underestimate a woman." Clay chuckled, confident in his arrogance. "Sure thing, Private, but don't cry when you miss." The day of the shot, the base cleared out a long stretch of land, marking the target at exactly 3,532 meters, over 2.1 miles. Weather conditions were moderate, wind light, air pressure slightly shifting. Every variable mattered at that distance. Eliza wore her father's old dog tags, a man she barely remembered but believed in fiercely. She lay on her stomach, breathing slowly, tuning out the murmurs behind her. Hundreds of soldiers gathered. Many expected a show, others a failure. But Eliza saw only one thing, the target. She whispered, "This one's for every girl who was told you can't." She pulled the trigger. The world stood still. For what felt like eternity, silence. Then the distant clang echoed across the valley. A perfect hit. Soldiers gasped. One collapsed to his knees in shock. General Clay's face turned pale as thunder. The aftermath. Eliza stood up calmly and walked back toward the stunned crowd. A soldier silently handed her the binoculars. She didn't need them. The silence told her everything. General Clay walked toward her, slowly, holding a $500 bill between his fingers. The man who had mocked her now looked at her with eyes wide open, not with anger, but with respect. He took the microphone, hands trembling, and said, "Private Eliza Monroe just broke the world record for the longest precision shot ever documented. And she did it under pressure none of us could imagine. He turned to her and added, "From this day forward, let be known, never underestimate a woman." National recognition. Within hours, the story hit military news sites. Within days, it was on CNN, BBC, and trending on YouTube. Letters from young girls across the world poured in. "You gave me courage to chase my dreams. Now I want to be a sniper too. I told my brother Eliza Monroe is my hero." Eliza didn't seek fame. She only wanted to prove something to herself. But her story became bigger than her. It became a symbol. Later that year, the military offered Eliza promotion. She declined. Instead, she asked to mentor new recruits, especially young women, at Fort Barrett. And every time she trained them, she reminded them, it's not the size of your voice. It's the strength of your purpose. The general's visit. One quiet afternoon, General Clay visited her training class. He stood by silently, watching her teach. At the end, he walked up to the group and said, "I once bet $500 against this woman. That was the cheapest mistake I ever made." The class laughed. Eliza smiled. The past didn't hurt anymore. It had shaped her into something unstoppable. Final words to the world. In a rare interview months later, Eliza was asked what gave her the strength to face that crowd, that shot, that pressure. She simply said, "I remember my mother's voice. If they doubt you, you're probably on the right path." And with that, she became a living legend, not just for what she hit, but for what she inspired.